Good morning. Joe McComb, Mayor of the City of Corpus Christi. Wanted to bring you up to date on where we are with our Hurricane Hannah preparation and some input from the city manager and from the county judge. But just wanted to reassure the public that the city and the county have done everything that is in our plan, and our plan is one of success. We've seen that in the past, and we're going to be successful this time in trying to protect the property and life of our community. And we appreciate the citizens' participation and support of that activity. On the way down to this briefing, I did drive by a couple of H-E-B stores. They're still open. People out buying last-minute goods, so I don't know how much longer they'll be open, and I would not encourage you to rush over there if you haven't gotten it. Just ride it out. I think this thing will be over within 24 hours, and that's my prediction. That's not anybody else's, so don't hold anybody else accountable for that. But they need to let their people get home, and then also drove out by Lavola Creek to see that the work that we've done over the past several years to try to improve the drainage, expand the area where the water can flow as opposed to backing up in the neighborhoods, and everything looks good out there for those residents that are concerned. If we end up like Houston did with heavy rains for hours on end, then I think not only Lavola Creek, but there'll be other areas in town that are inundated with water. But right now, everything looks good. And as I understand it, the storm is, and Peter will give us the specifics, but the storm is somewhere headed south of Kingsville, down around Baffin Bay. So that's positive for us, but then on the other hand, that we're on the heavy rain side of the storm, so we need to be aware of that, so don't take anything for granted. But our first responders, fire and police, they're prepared. As I passed by several intersections that are known to flood, the street department already has the barricades out on the curbside, so that when they go out and do the surveys and see that there's water in those underpasses, they'll put those barricades up, and I hope you will pay attention to them. They're there for your safety. Hope you don't get out too soon, but again, don't ever underestimate the power of water and what it can do. It's not forgiving, and so watch what you're doing. If you get out, don't get out too early. But prior to the storm coming on land, if you still have a few minutes at home, need to pick up some items out of your backyard that you haven't, or your front yard or your side yard or wherever it is, lawn chairs, picnic tables, whatever you may have out there that could be picked up and get airborne, either flying to your house windows or to your neighbor's house windows. Please bring those into the garage or secure them so that won't happen. But stay at home. I know we've been staying home for 5 months because of the corona, but the coronavirus, not just the corona, but the coronavirus. And so staying home doesn't sound real popular, but right now this is a real important matter. And we'd also recommend that, of course, those that are out at the beach and trying to see all the wave action, they can't hear this, but please don't go out and try to watch the waves and all that. I know that it's interesting, but it also puts you in peril, and it puts our first responders in peril in case you have an issue come up. And first and foremost, remember they're family people too. They have families to be prepared for and work for, and we don't need to be putting them at any additional risk than what they already normally do under their daily work. So think of your fellow citizens, think of the fellows responders that are out working to keep us safe. This briefing will be brief, we hope, because we need to let people get back to finishing their preparations. So at this time, I'd like to call Peter Zanoni, city manager, to come up and give you a briefing, and then I believe Judge Canales will join us on video or WebEx. I'm not sure what technical connection we'll have, but she'll be here momentarily. But just take confidence in the fact that the emergency management people under Billy Delgado and the first responders, this is not the first time they've gone through this exercise. They're highly prepared. They perform at an extraordinary high level, and take confidence and feel like that we're going to get through this. I'm saying within 24 hours, at least the heavy part will be over, and we can begin to see where we are. But stay careful, be careful. Remember, if you've joined a family member at some other residence than yours, if you're in low-lying areas, that you take your masks and other things. We still have the corona pandemic, so we don't want to forget that and expose someone or be exposed if someone has it where you're going. So be very mindful of that everywhere you go. Keep your mask on, and if you're in a home that's overly crowded because of the conditions of everybody gathering to protect themselves from storm, wear the mask in the house. I know that probably sounds kind of crazy, but keeping safe sounds pretty good. And so that would be my recommendation to you. So Mr. Zanoni, if you'll come and give us an update on the storm and what you have. Thank you very much. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
Great, thank you, Mayor. It sure is good to have a mayor who knows Corpus Christi and who has a lot of experience going through hurricanes. It's comforting. I've had several people comment that they appreciated, Mayor, your calm demeanor and a reassuring poise to know that we're going to get through this hurricane, and we'll be back next week without the storm to deal with, just our normal business. So thank you, Mayor, for being here today and for the comments. I'm going to talk a little bit about the weather event itself. I know we all have access to weather on our social media outlets, on news and so on, but just to kind of recap in case somebody has missed it. And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the customer call center numbers we have and what the city's doing to help those out there to get through the storm. So we've had several weather updates with the National Weather Service this morning, and then at 9 o'clock, and then again at 10:30. And the key takeaways are that what was a tropical storm was named a hurricane at about 7 o'clock this morning. And that means that the winds are above 74 miles an hour. That's when a hurricane is identified. And Hanna, as the mayor said, is the first named hurricane for the season for the country. So around 7 o'clock, the winds were at about 75 miles an hour. It is kind of moving on shore, some of the bands at least, and we can expect the worst of the effects, the rain and the winds, at about 1 o'clock, around 1 or after 1, and into actually the evening. There's several warnings and watches that are in effect. We do have a hurricane warning remains in effect, a tropical storm warning remains in effect, a flash flood watch is in effect, and storm surge warnings remain in effect. The storm tides on the beaches are expected to be 3 to 5 feet above normal levels. The rain accumulations are anywhere from 5 to 10 feet is the estimate, with some levels as high as 3 to 5 inches, with some levels as high as 15 inches of rain. So it's still something to contend with. It's going to happen later. We'll have more of the effects later this afternoon and into the evening hours. So we have to be vigilant and mindful and follow all our precautions. So that's kind of a summary of the weather. Let me tell you about what we have to help keep people informed. We do have a website we set up, cctexas.com/Hanna. We have a hurricane tracker that's on there. And there's a lot of information, so as you go through the day, reference our website, cctexas.com/Hanna, and you can get plenty of information there on the hurricane and updates from us and other persons as well. The city has extended our call center numbers, or call center operations, I should say, through the weekend. So we have been open since yesterday at 6, and will remain open through Sunday. So if there's any issue that you have, like down limbs, need for city service, call that 826-CITY or 826-2489. And that call center is open. We had a lot of callers last night, and will continue to be open through the day today and tomorrow. and through the night. Now, if you have issues with power, if your electricity is down, you do want to call AEP directly. Don't bother, you can call the city, but AEP is the one that's going to help you. And their number is 877-373-4858. And so call AEP directly for any type of power outage. And then finally, the Corpus Christi International Airport is making notification of airport cancellations. So most commercial airlines have canceled most of the scheduled flights for the remainder of the day. So be mindful of that. Okay, so that concludes our briefing. We're gonna, I think, WebEx in with Nueces County Judge Barbara Canales at this point.
Barbara Canales, Nueces County Judge. I am visiting with all of you through a great technology that we have employed in both our EOCs, both the city and the county. So I'm here at the Nueces County Courthouse on the 5th floor, where Nueces County hosts their Emergency Operations Command Center. We've been here since yesterday evening and in close contact with the City of Corpus Christi's EOC. It's a good feeling to be able to work together, and it gives me a lot of also a sense of calm that we've been in contact with the Port of Corpus Christi, the RTA, the United States Coast Guard. In fact, we have a Coast Guard liaison with us here in our EOC. We are also working very closely with all of the mayors from the county, from the cities that make up Nueces County, from Port Aransas to Robstown this morning, and we will touch every single city that's affected. We are highly concerned, as has already been mentioned, about this surge of water that we are seeing. This is coming from moving water that moves inland from the shoreline. You have probably seen on the Weather Channel already at least 4 feet in certain areas on the coast. I've had visual images of both Bob Hall Pier and in Port Aransas by Horace Caldwell Pier, and I can tell you that the water is definitely, if it wasn't at the dunes early this morning, it was approaching it. And so now, several hours later, it's already past the dunes. You can see the rushing movement of water, and it really shows how important it is to really be prepared, which is why we made the good decision, I think, yesterday, to make certain that we would have ample time to get people safely off the beach. All those folks in RVs have been moved off the beach, and it's a very good thing because, as I said, the picture is worth 1,000 words. So you'll recall yesterday our messages were quite focused on 3 points. Be ready, right? Be prepared, stay informed, and please don't take any unnecessary risks. Those points stand true today. Mayor McComb probably said it best when he said, we all know how to stay at home now. Well, this is Mother Nature's stay-at-home order for all of us. And I think that the rising waters in particularly make it difficult for anybody to safely move around. And so I also want to recommend to all citizens, particularly in the western part of our county and in the northern part, northwest part, Calallen, Annaville, Robstown, moving towards Banquete, and now we'll say, please stay in. We know these are areas that have always historically had issues with flooding and drainage issues. And so if you can help all of us, the best thing you can do to be prepared for this storm as it approaches is stay put. I also have set up a Nueces County hotline. I'd like to give you that number right now. It's 414-6000. It's going to be a good line for the next 48, and if we need to, we'll extend to 72 hours. You'll be able to call this line, and we have folks standing by in our Emergency Operations Center to help answer your questions, or perhaps you're going to call to report some damage. We will do our very best to get you to the right emergency first responder. Most of all, I just want you to stay safe. We will be giving you updates throughout the next 48 hours, and I want you to stay close to your media outlets. Again, remember your reversealert.org and the opportunity to get amazing information at both the City of Corpus Christi, Texas website, and of course our own Nueces County website as well. I think the last thing that I'd like to really share with you is what a good feeling it is to work with such an experienced team, not only here at the county, but across Nueces County. And it also extends to our partners. I've had the opportunity this morning to visit with Clayburgh County Judge Rudy Madrid, and it's a good feeling when he says, "I've got your back, Judge," and I get to reciprocate and say, "And I've got yours." I also want to thank the Texas Department of Emergency Management and the National Weather Service. They are giving us incredible, detailed information. Finally, we got an opportunity shortly before this press briefing to work with and consult with our legislative delegation. So thank you to Senators Hinojosa and Colhorst, Chairman, Representatives Hunter and Herrero. We have an amazing delegation that is ready to assist at a moment's notice. Because of this type of cooperation and collaboration, we're able to be the type of first responders you need us to be. As I said yesterday, we are approaching imminent threat. There are life-threatening situations with this storm. Please take it very seriously. And if we all do our part in our preparedness, we will come out on the other side of the storm. So I look forward to answering your questions, and please, please stay safe.
Okay, that concludes the briefing. If you have any questions, if not, anyone have any questions? I know the press has got a job to do, but they've also got to take care of themselves, so we want you to finish up here and get home and get safe with you and your families. So do that. Be careful, stay safe, and stay healthy. And we'll continue to be in touch with you as the need exists. I don't know that we've got another briefing scheduled at this time, but any emergency information that we do need to get out, we will. But right now, our focus is getting everyone home, getting them off the street, and riding this thing out. The good news about this is that it appears it's all going to happen during the daylight hours, so we don't have to go into the nighttime to face this issue. So stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you shortly. Thank you.